Hey, good evening, guys. I'm Karan Vanik, and we're gonna do a quick scan across all the majors and minors that I have in my watch list right now. Okay, we have Euro USD, and currently Euro USD daily time frame we're standing below the equilibrium, and the last daily candle was strongly bullish. In 1 hour, I can spot this setup, a liquidity sweep and breakout structure. What I will be waiting for, I will be waiting for the corrective phase downside so that I can look for longs. That's a reversal setup, so obviously reversal setups are always low probable. Let's see what's going on in weekly perspective. In weekly perspective, the last weekly bias is bearish. So definitely this setup is not lining up with the overall weekly bias because the next week bias is bearish. The closing of the last week was lower than the low of the week before it. So we can target for this lows. Let's see. It's also possible that we will open, trade back a little lower and start pushing towards upside because we are currently standing at a flip area in weekly time frame. So I'm just gonna wait for it. I just want to see some bullish structural changes in Euro USD so that we can start looking for longs and target towards this high in higher time frame. What's going on in GBP USD? GBP USD is beautifully bouncing from discounted price. We're currently standing at around equilibrium of this impulsive move towards upside. The overall trend is bullish. We're currently above 50 EMA in daily chart. In weekly perspective, the next weekly bias is bearish. We can look for this lows. At the same time, we are very bullish into the weekly time frame too. So let's see if we have any setup. We have a sweep of liquidity. It's not a major one, but it's just looks like a strong low, and we can expect a deeper correction, and then we can start looking for longs. But obviously, this is a low probability setup, and the reason is clean because the weekly bias is not lining up with the storyline. Same story for the GBP USD. I want a good trend change so that I can start looking for good continuation setup towards upside. These are just reversal setups, and reversal setups are always low probable. Gold. If we drop our Fibonacci on this impulsive move, we are currently standing at around the equilibrium. Price went all the way to a very discounted price below 50 EMA in daily time frame, and then we are sharply thrusting towards upside right now. Overall, daily time frame is strongly trading above the daily 50 EMA, and weekly perspective, the weekly bias is also looking bullish. The closing of the last week's candle was higher than the close of the week before it, and even also the low. So this is also higher than this and this. So we can target for this high in our 1 hour time frame. Oopsie. Okay. In in 1 hour time frame, we can spot this setup, a beautiful sweep below this lows, and then a strong breakout structure towards upside. What I will be waiting for, I will be waiting for a strong corrective phase downside so that I can long this from a good OTE level. Okay, it's possible that price will manage to show us some more upside move before the drop. And I'm just gonna keep this thing in my watch list. This is our weekly bias. We're targeting for this high. Let's see. This is the A plus one if this play out. So I'm definitely gonna keep this in my watch list. Okay. Oops. This is full. Okay. Let's see what's going on in AUD USD. Okay. If we drop a Fibonacci on this impulsive move, we are currently bouncing from a discounted price. We can say we're bouncing from 38.2% Fibonacci level. It's showing 0.62. It's very much same thing. Uh, we can see, can we spot any setup in 1 hour USD, AUD USD? I can spot this liquidity sweep and then this break-off structure, even though it looks like a minor one. Uh, what I'll be waiting for, same story. I'll be waiting for a deeper correction so that I can start looking for longs. What's going on in weekly perspective? The weekly bias look bullish because the last weekly candle actually managed to clear the low and close strongly above with a green candle. So we can target for this high and this high overall in AUD USD. So actually this is also a really good high probability setup because the weekly bias is lining up. Price is actually bouncing from, it's not actually bouncing from a very discounted price in daily time frame. but it's beautifully bouncing from 38.2. So definitely something uh, I want to keep in my watch list. So I'll be waiting for a deeper correction so that I can start looking for longs in AUD USD. NZD USD, pretty much same story. We're beautifully bouncing from 38.2. In weekly chart, the last weekly candle managed to clear this low and strongly closed above it. So it's possible that we're going to clear this high within the next few weeks. We can also target for this high too. Even though the weekly closing was not that good, overall the week was the indecision one, a dozy bar, something like that. So, mm, but still, we can actually keep this in our watch list and monitor this for the week. Same thing. I'm gonna wait for a deeper correction so that I can start looking for longs in NZD USD. Let's see what's going on in USD CHF, guys. USD CHF, we are beautifully dropping from 38.2. The rejection is not that strong. I will be waiting for some good rejections towards downside in daily perspective, honestly. Let's see what's going on in weekly time frame. The last weekly candle managed to clear this high and close like this. The candle was a bullish one still, so definitely not something giving me some good bearish instinct. So I've definitely we I don't have any clear HPL right now over here, so I'll skip this setup honestly. This is not a setup. This is not at all a setup. This is just forcefully I'm drawing some sweep and boss in the chart. But I will be waiting for some more deeper correction in USD CHF before I start looking for shorts. USD JPY. This is something I covered today. This is something I was watching during during after waking up in the morning when I was backtesting. Uh, we're currently okay, guys. Look at this. If I ask you where is the last breakout structure, what's your answer? Definitely either this one or this one, right? My system rule tell me to drop a Fibonacci on the last impulsive drop or upside move, last impulsive move which caused a breakout structure. So based on the system rule, I should drop my Fibonacci on this one, right? But do you think this is going to give me some good tradable opportunity? Definitely not, because we're clearly going against the trend. So I have introduced a rule. Uh, I introduced a rule maybe a year ago that I'm only gonna if the market is bullish, I'm just gonna ignore this kind of breakouts to breakout structure towards downside. Instead, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna skip this pair, or I will check in 4 hour what's going on over here. Okay, in 4 hour, I can clearly see that we have a breakout structure here, and we're also perfectly lining up with the trend. So what I'm gonna wait for USD JPY to correct, show some good corrections in 4 hour, so that I can start looking for 15-minute setups inside this region. Okay, that's a better alternative, better choice than just looking for shorts in daily time frame because we're clearly going against the trend, right? So Euro USD, sorry, USD JPY, it's just a skip for now, and I'm gonna skip for now in terms of swing tradable opportunity. I'm gonna do another scan where I'm gonna check if I have any intraday tradable opportunity or not. Maybe in that scan, I will get a trade setup idea in USD JPY because in USD JPY, I'm just strongly waiting for deeper correction in 4 hours so that I can get a discounted price to start looking for longs in 15 minutes. USD CAD, we are beautifully dropping from 30, the equilibrium price, a discounted price level. Okay, and we can start looking for shorts. Let's see what's going on in weekly chart. The weekly bias is definitely not lining up. The last weekly candle, the bias was bearish, but on the next week we failed to clear a high or low. We ended up creating creating an insider bar, so we're just stuck inside the previous weekly range. And honestly, I'm not getting any kind of bearish instinct from it. It more looks like that it's possible that on the next week we are going to open, trade back a little lower, and then we're going to trade towards this fair value gap that we have. So even though we are actually dropping from oops, okay, even though we are actually dropping from a discounted price in daily time frame, but we I'm still not going to look for shorts, and the reason is pretty much clear because the weekly bias is not that good. Okay, we also have a clean setup in USD CAD actually. This look at this sweep and breakout structure which is leaving multiple fair value gaps. The move was really impulsive, but I'm gonna skip this one for now. And yeah, but I'm gonna skip this one. What I will be waiting for, I will be waiting for some more one or two more daily bearish candle. Maybe that will give me some instinct that I can start looking for shorts. What I'll be waiting for, maybe I'll be waiting for price to clear this previous weekly low, and then I can start looking for shorts and target towards this low. Yeah, USD CAD is skip. Dixie, we are currently after this impulsive drop, we are currently at around a discounted price. Mm, okay, but yeah, we can start looking for shorts here theoretically, but let's see what's going on in weekly perspective. We just cleared this low and we are trying to impulse back higher. The weekly candle is actually giving me a bias towards upside. What was my bias in euro? Yeah, Dixie bias is perfectly lining up with my euro USD and GBP USD bias, and definitely not lining up with my this trade ideas. So these two trade ideas are definitely very low probable, and the better option for me is definitely this. If I just wait for a trend change completely and I wait for price to clearly trade above 50 EMA in 1 hour. Yeah, I'm gonna skip these two setups because this is very low probable. Even Dixie weekly bias is clearly bullish. Okay, let's see what's going on in Euro JPY. Man, it is something interesting. Uh, this is the last breakout structure toward downside, but we don't have anything. We are strongly trading above, and we're into a bullish trend. So we are just gonna skip it and let's see what's going on in 4 hour. In 4 hour, we have a last breakout structure around this level. So what I will be waiting for, I will be waiting for a deeper correction downside, so that I can start looking for 15-minute setups and target towards this high. So definitely, I'm gonna set my alert somewhere around here at equilibrium so that I can get the notification that I can start looking for 15-minute setups in Euro JPY. So in USD JPY, I'm also looking for a deeper correction in 4 hours, so it's perfectly lining up. GBP JPY. Okay, what was the weekly bias in Euro JPY? This HPL is pretty much clear. The last weekly candle was strongly bullish, so it's possible that we are gonna open on the next week, trade back a little lower, and start trading towards upside. Definitely something I want to keep in my watch list. Euro JPY, the last weekly closure was strongly bullish. Price managed to close above the high of the week before it. So for the next week, our HPL is this. In daily time frame, we swept this highs and then managed to see some good corrections in GBP JPY. This is the last impulsive move towards upside, and we're beautifully bouncing from the discounted price. In 1 hour, I can spot this setup. This one is a looks like a strong low. What I'm gonna wait for some good deeper correction. But it instinct wise, it is not looking like we're gonna get some deeper correction in this. It looks like we're just gonna open, gonna see some little bit of correction, and then we can easily trade towards this high. So I don't think that JPY is gonna correct this much. But if GBP managed to drop below this low, then it's possible that we're gonna see some good corrections in JPY. Let's see. I'm just gonna keep my watch. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now I'm just gonna keep this in my watch list. Let's see how it unfolds. So let's see what's going on in AUD CAD. Okay, AUD CAD. This was the last impulsive move towards upside. We're currently beautifully bouncing from extreme discount price, and I can spot this setup in 1 hour AUD CAD. I'm gonna wait for a deeper correction so that I can start looking for longs in this one. Weekly perspective, the weekly bias is bullish, even though the rules are not lining up. Like the closure was not higher than the high of the week before it, but still, it looks like we're definitely gonna clear this highs on the next week. And let's see if we manage to see some good deeper correction in AUD CAD. In that case, we can start looking for longs and target towards this high. In the CAD, that's a skip. Can we consider this one? We can consider this one, I think. Okay, better if I just don't micromanage things for now. Uh, GBP CAD. This is the last breakout structure towards downside, but the overall trend is bullish, and so we're gonna skip this one. Let's see if we have anything in daily 4 hour chart. Honestly, in minor pairs, I don't really want to look for intraday tradable opportunities because of the overnight spreads that we get sometimes. So I just look for swing tradable opportunities in minors. Only majors I look for intraday tradable opportunities. But still, in GBP CAD, in 4 hour, we are strongly bearish till now, and I want to see some bullishness in the market, so that's a skip. Uh, okay, guys, in AUD CHF, we are beautifully bouncing from an extreme discount. In 1 hour, I can spot this thing, a sweep of liquidity and then a breakout structure, but it more looks like a strong low setup and a reversal trade setup than a continuation one. But still, I'm going to keep this in my watch list. Let's see what's going on in weekly perspective. The next weekly bias is bullish. We're just breaking above the 50 EMA in weekly chart. So definitely a setup, a thing to keep in my. Definitely, I'm going to keep this pair in my watch list because the weekly bias is perfectly lining up in daily. We're beautifully bouncing from extreme discount, and we have a setup. Even though the setup is not that high probable, because continuation setups are always high probable than the reversal setups, but still, I'm going to keep this in my watch list. GBP CHF. Mm, in daily time frame, this was the last breakout structure towards downside, and if we drop a Fibonacci on this one, we are currently just rejecting from a discounted price level like a 38.2 level, and I don't think that uh, it's a good environment to start looking for shorts here. I will be waiting for some deeper discounted price, deeper premium price in this case, before start looking for shorts. Let's see. Um, that is NZD CHF. So in NZD CHF, we're beautifully bouncing from an extreme discount in weekly time frame. The weekly bias is not that strong. Okay, not that strong because we failed to close above the high of the previous week. But let's see what's going on in monthly time frame. The monthly bias is also cleared. The previous month is already cleared. Previous month high. So we can spot this setup in 1 hour. A sweep of liquidity, then a breakout structure. That's a reversal trade setup, and the weekly bias is not lining up. Definitely not something I'm gonna add in my watch list. Euro CAD. Where is the last breakout structure? This is the last breakout structure. Look at this EMA. It is getting flattened. I don't think I'm gonna get a trade over here. It's just too choppy to trade right now. I just want clear price action, clear trend. Skip it. Euro CHF. We are dropping from this level, from this discounted price region. This is the level where we get rejected. So I can start looking for shorts here, and I'm gonna target for this low. Let's see what's the weekly bias here. Mm, okay. The last weekly candle was a strong was an insider bar, but still it is giving me some strong bearish instinct. I'm gonna target for this low, but I don't think I'm gonna get any good tradable setup here. Uh, we don't have any clear sweep of liquidity or something. I'm just gonna keep this in my watch list so that it's possible that we're gonna trade higher first, then we're gonna get set up, or it's possible that we're gonna just straight away drop and clear this lows. But still, the environment is pretty much tradable, good for our setup. So I'm just gonna keep in my watch list so that I don't miss any trade setups if they present, if they show up. Okay. So in AUD NZD, this is the last. Okay, in AUD NZD, this is the last impulsive breakout structure towards upside. Oh, we're just considering. Okay, we are in daily time frame. This is the last breakout structure upside, and right now we are into premium price. I just want to see price drop below 38.2 at least before I start looking for longs here. AUD NZD, a skip. There is nothing in GBP NZD right now. CAD CHF. Okay, this is something interesting. We are dropping from the premium price in a bearish market environment, and the weekly bias is bearish. We can actually look for this lows because the last weekly candle cleared this high and closed inside this range. So it's possible that we're going to clear this lows on the upcoming week. And what I'll be waiting for, I'll be waiting for a breakout structure downside and then a corrective phase up so that I get a trade because there's a clear sweep right in front of my eyes. So I'm going to wait for this setup. It's possible that we're going to just keep dropping and clear this low. So I'm just going to keep this in my watch list and let's see how it unfolds. Uh, What is this? This is Euro NZD. Euro NZD, this is the last breakout structure towards downside. We're beautifully rejecting and dropping from a premium price in a bearish market environment. If we drop into the weekly chart, the next weekly bias is not that clean actually. We failed to close below this previous weekly low. So okay, so what we're gonna wait for? The bias is not that clean, so I'm possibly gonna skip this one, even though the setup actually looks so much promising in daily time frame that it clearly looks like we're gonna just open on the next day and we're gonna trade below towards this low. And we also have a good setup over here, but the weekly bias is not that lining up. We're also standing at a at 50 EMA. Man, after a long time, we're currently standing at 50 EMA in Euro NZD in weekly time frame. So definitely, I don't really want to skip this one honestly, because uh, even though the rules weekly bias rule is not satisfied, but the overall storyline is giving me is saying me that bro, Euro NZD is weak and we can look for shorts here. So I'm gonna keep this in my watch list definitely. What's going on in Euro GBP? Euro GBP daily time frame. This is the last breakout structure towards downside, and we are just dropping from the OT level. I'm gonna wait for a deeper correction and a breakout structure in 1 hour, and then I can start looking for shorts. Right now, there is no setup right in front of my eyes. Mm, Euro AUD, Euro AUD, we are dropping from this level. Uh, we are dropping from a premium level. This is the last breakout structure towards downside in daily time frame. We're currently trading below 50 EMA. In weekly time frame, the weekly bias is bearish, so things are lining up. Yep. So we can look for shorting opportunities in AU AUD. We're gonna wait for a corrective phase up and then a drop. So I'm gonna keep this in my watch list. Things are pretty much lining up here. Bitcoin, skip it. Okay, guys, you did it. Okay, yeah, I covered this one. Okay, this is currently in extreme, so there is definitely not any setup. NZD same story. It's currently standing at extreme. We just managed to create a new higher high. So what I'll be waiting for, I'll be waiting for deeper correction in daily time frame so that I can start looking for setups. So that's a skip. Dixie. Yep. That's it, guys. See you soon on the next session. Have a great day.